No, no problems. Everything's good. Troy made me some wonderful ornaments.
Nice.
And Brandon and Keisha got me a coffee table book, the newest.
Hi, Betty.
Hi.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Morning, Betty. Good morning, everybody.
Come on, stand
Good
up.
morning.
Go sit down.
Yeah, wow.
So, Jeff, what kind of ornaments did they make? Was it wooden or something?
Troy makes them out of beads, and one of my mother and I was playing Santa Claus at the Goodwin Center, and then there was another one, a picture of Act Monty, and then he made me another one of Drake
Oh, wow.
with the pictures in the middle. It's real pretty.
Oh,
Wow, how pretty.
He's really talented.
That's great.
I'm really not.
No, I'm really not either.
I did wrap presents this year. Everybody was very proud of me. All his presents were wrapped. Usually they get them in a bag.
I feel good if I get them in a gift bag instead of in the bag. I mean, if I put them in a gift bag instead of the bag that came in from the store. I'm just not talented in wrapping.
Oh, not either.
Well, I love to wrap.
Yeah,
I wrap mine.
I didn't know you were a rapper.
I am. You didn't know that, did you?
Hear you sometime.
Okay.
There's Christy.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I love your village, Christy.
Oh, thank you. It gives me a lot of pleasure.
Are you done singing for the year?
Yes, we had our Christmas concert. Not sure what's going to happen with COVID in the future, but it's kind of day to day like everything.
It was a great concert. Really good.
Glad you were there with us, Sue.
Dave Mills,
Good morning.
Dale Doral,
You?
There's Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Still here.
Good. Hi, Christy.
Hi, Steve.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
guys.
Dan, you finally are upright.
You know, it's takes something to get out of bed in the morning. So. Trying to get it so you're not looking out the windows behind me.
Right.
How are you feeling this week, Dan?
I endured the first round okay. Had some extra aches and pains. And don't know if that's just from sleeping in the hospital bed for 2 nights or the antibodies actually doing something. The first dose is pretty low because it doesn't want to overburden your liver and kidneys if you have lots of cancer activity going on and trying to kill a lot of it all at once. But next Tuesday, we'll have a dose that's twice as much. But the observation's half as long, so I should be done by Wednesday afternoon. And I can't wait because every time you go in the hospital, if you've been in a hospital lately, every time they administer something, they ask, you know, can you tell us your name and give us your birthday? So I can't wait till Wednesday when I can say, it's today. Today's my birthday.
Here.
Right.
I thought maybe the reason they ask those questions all that often is to keep reminding us we need to remember.
Well, I thought about just, putting a piece of duct tape on my forehead. Says this is who I am and this is when I was born. I'm feeling pretty good, actually. Thanks for asking.
Good.
What's Aunt say? Too much Christmas?
Yeah, and she's got a big crowd coming in at 1.
No, not yet.
There's Nick.
Nick.
Nick just popped in.
Nick.
Nick at church forever.
Hey, Nick.
See if we can get a chance.
Well, I said,
He popped out.
oh,
I was hoping they would.
He stuck his head in and then he walked away to get more.
where is he?
He was
With
down at the bottom with Dan.
He'll be back in a second. No, I can't.
Which room we got?
Oh, there he is.
Of him.
How was your trip in?
It was good. I took 2 days and I drove down the length of US 36 from Denver to Indianapolis.
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty straight line. There's not a lot to see.
That's the way my sister always comes from Colorado. She hates the noise. If she doesn't take the train, she takes 36.
Yeah, there's not much out there. It's pretty, but it's pretty monotonous. I found the geographical center of the 48 contiguous US states, and it's just this intersection in the middle of Lebanon, Kansas.
All right.
Interesting.
So did you get,
Just had a flag.
you take a selfie there or anything?
Got some pictures, yep. Got to document it.
Center of the US.
There was a time back when I was driving across 36, that part of it out through there was 2 lane. One lane was concrete and the other lane was gravel. And you could everybody could drive on the concrete one until you met somebody else, and then the person coming the one way had to duck off to the right onto the gravel.
Yep.
How did you know who yielded to whom?
Well, because if you're coming and you always meet on the right or left to left, so to speak. So the person on the right ducked off onto the gravel if you were coming east.
I see.
Yeah. And it was a little tricky back then when 2 tractor trailer semis met. And one of them then off in the gravel throwing rocks up into you. And then you've got about this much space between the 2 mirrors trying to miss each other.
Did you drive a tractor trailer?
I did.
Ah. They're looking for you to come back.
Well, that was when I could drive a little better than I can now, for sure.
So how's Iowa, Dale Doral? Is it cold? We can't hear, we're not hearing you.
No, it's been actually pretty warm for this time of year, at least in the daytime. Must have been around 50 yesterday, but it's about 20 right now.
Okay. It's been way too warm for this season back here.
Well, supposed to change later this week, and be more normal anyway. We had another little storm derecho a few days ago, with some tornadoes in it. And it's been about a week ago, and I just discovered yesterday some damage that I didn't know had happened.
Oh,
Nothing too major.
Well, last night I got to see Dorothy's house go up in a tornado. I didn't know that kind of thing could happen.
It does some strange things.
did you see a witch on a bicycle?
I did. And of course, we all celebrated the survival of Toto.
All right.
I used to like that movie except for the flying monkeys part. They always scared me.
Well,
So-
I didn't get to watch the whole thing. Shortly thereafter, football somehow intruded.
Oh, okay.
I now have a screaming flying monkey on the shelf in my office. Somebody bought me as a gag, and you tape and pull its arms and it's rubber bands and let go, and it actually sails across the room.
Whoa.
My granddaughter Lily, great granddaughter Lily, was up there. She was helping me as I was cleaning house.
True.
You have lots of toys. And I said, yeah, I do. And she goes, you're too old for toys.
No such thing.
Absolutely not. I saw a gentleman of my age approximately with a Maserati yesterday, and I thought, oh, he has a toy too.
I do have a Mercedes, but it's not a Maserati.
I'll tell you, that's the trouble of, living out in my particular section. I live maybe 10 miles from the women's prison. And I live 4 miles from sort of a heartbeat of a low-income immigrant community. And 4 miles the other way is Tesla Central. So, we're all mixed up here, but people don't cross those lines as often as I wish they would.
We're pleased this morning that Norma and Lynn are going to provide us, but before we get there, are there joys or concerns to share before we begin?
Our oldest granddaughter has come down with COVID this week. So remember her. She's in her 20s.
Was she vaccinated?
Yes.
So she'll
She
have a
hadn't
mild,
had the booster yet. She hadn't done
hopefully she'll
that.
have a milder course. We'll hope for her, pray for her.
I'd ask that you remember our son-in-law, Michael. His mother was in a coma, did pass away, and her funeral will be this Wednesday. The same time that his mom Janet and hit her head, his sister was at work and she fell and broke her leg. And she had so she's in the hospital and is being transferred to a rehab center tomorrow, but she may not be able to attend her mother's funeral. So hold that family in your prayers Wednesday morning especially.
Well, I have a memory, I think, a little reminiscing, but I'll try to do it without too much rambling. But if we go back through the history of this meeting, as far back as I can go with remembering the people, my grandparents, Sylvia's, were born in the late 1800s, as were on both sides of the family, and have subsequently been involved in this meeting continuously ever since then. That time, they mowed lawns and took care of cemeteries and rang bells and all those kinds of things. But that generation of people on the Leland Mills side of the family, between about 1916 and 1930, had 5 boys. And subsequently then, the Walter and Muriel Barnett had 5 girls. And 3 of the 5 girls married 3 of the 5 Mills boys. And they subsequently have been active in the meeting, all or part of them all the time since then. Some of them scattered to Africa and mission and came back and whatever. The last one to leave the meeting was Sister Sylvia, who got remarried, Sylvia Mills Graves Green, and back out to Western Iowa. So that kind of broke the continuation. Also, the reason I bring this up is the Marshall Barnett Burroughs passed yesterday morning at age 96. Just barely made it to Christmas, I learned. But that's what triggered my thinking. And I looked also back at Sumner and Leela Mills, John and Miriam Mills, and Steve Mills, all in succession. And likewise, Jesse and Garnet Barnett, although Jesse was born in 1905, not in the 1800s, but close enough, and Norma. So these are a succession of people, and I hope I haven't missed anybody else that I can recall who have sort of helped carry this meeting through the years for over 100 years. And I just thought that was important to remember.
For all the saints. Well, let's just have a moment of quiet, and then as they feel led, Norma and Lynn will listen worship via music.
Light looked down and beheld darkness. Thither will I go, said light. Peace looked down and beheld war. Thither will I go, said peace. Love looked down and beheld hatred. Thither will I go, said love. So came light and shone. So came peace and gave rest. So came love and brought life. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us.
Thou didst leave thy throne and thy kingly crown when thou camest to earth for me. But in Bethlehem's home there was found no room for thy holy Trinity.
Well, thank you, Lynn and Norma. We'll now center into a time of unprogrammed worship, and for those who need to leave, we bid you adieu and blessings on your week, and we hope to see you next Sunday. I think we've reached the end of our time together this morning. It was good to be with you all. Good to be with you, Sue. And next week we'll all be on Zoom. So, and we'll start Sunday school. I don't know which person we're studying yet, but I'll send that out. So.
Merry
Take care.
Christmas.
The music was good.
Merry Christmas. Yes, your music was wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I messed it up. I couldn't believe it.